Welcome back, everyone. We're live on location at the Channel Partners Expo here in Las Vegas, Nevada. This episode of the podcast, brought to you by the Managed Service Provider Association of America, features Brian and Aaron from KC Tech Systems from Kansas City, home of the best barbecue in America.
That's right.
All right, Brian, give us a story. You told me in our little prep that you're a new MSP. How new are we talking?
We're very new. We are probably only about a year into this.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Last year, Channel Partners was our first year. This is our second year here, so
cool.
we're here to keep learning and growing. So.
And why did you decide to take the plunge and start a business?
We started off as AV integrators, about 20 years of experience or so. Kept moving into the IT space, and just managed services is kind of our way to go, and we want to find more ways to keep helping our clients out.
Okay. And how do you two know each other?
We met actually years ago. He used to be a rep of mine, a sales rep, and then I kind of stole him and wanted to bring him on. We became really good friends. We're great friends, great partners now. Yeah. So
nice.
We just kind of keep going.
Right on. What's the first year been like for you?
You know, it's been really interesting because there's a lot to learn, and we love to learn. We're just sponges right now. So it's really nice to meet lots of new people and try to find other people that do similar things to us, so that we can just learn how they've done it, learn what they didn't like.
What kind of the big obstacles that you're trying to find answers to right now?
So for us, since we're new, we are used to doing all the physical work and being on site and all of that. So for us, it's learning how to ask the right questions and figure out what the actual needs are. So,
What were the two of you doing before?
Our main business focus originally was AV integration, custom home automation, lighting design.
So this isn't your first business. You have the business, you two were doing it together.
Yes, correct.
Okay. What's the carryover? What's the same from that business that you're applying here, and what's the type of new territory that you're trying to learn into?
A lot of the new territory we're in is kind of going from more of the residential mindset into more of a commercial, business, small business to medium-sized business mindset.
Okay, because you were serving residential prior.
Right. Yes, correct.
Okay.
In residential, I mean, your IT and network requirements aren't quite as robust as on the commercial and business side, but a lot of our clients in the residential space, they're business owners, they've got offices themselves, they're doctors, they're lawyers. They need IT staff. They can't afford a large IT staff, so we kind of became their de facto IT staff, and so MSP space was the way to go for us, just so we can keep continuing to provide,
Do you find your residential clients are going to be a source of referrals? Statistically, they either are or know business owners.
Yeah, and that's definitely what we're finding. Like we said, especially the smaller ones that they can't afford to have a full IT staff on time. And neither can some of their colleagues and other colleagues, stuff like that. And so they refer us. They say, hey, we've got great guys that we work with, and they helped our house out, they helped our business out. They can definitely help you out as well. So
all right, so here's the breakdown question: what type of clientele are you serving, or do you want to serve, and what kind of problems do they have?
Primarily, we're sticking to the small to medium sized businesses. We have clienteles that are in the healthcare industry space. We have
when you say healthcare, what do you mean? Foot and ankle,
physical therapy,
physiotherapy. Okay, sweet. Yeah.
We also have clients that are actually in the cannabis industry. They've got grow operations, dispensaries, things of that nature they actually do require a decent amount of IT level help.
Do you find yourself gravitating towards certain verticals right now?
Not right now. We really haven't hit like a certain niche right now.
Okay.
We're still trying to find our niche we work with, because we're very flexible in what we can do. We're very small, so we don't have the staff.
Everyone starts small, right? Yep. Okay. Which ones do you have some affinity for, and what's your experiment plan? Because that's what I hear. You haven't found it yet, which implies that you're looking for one. So what's your experiment plan to find a good vertical that matches your affinity and has a strong pain that you can actually solve?
Sure. So I think the easiest way to answer that is we're trying anything and everything that we can touch currently.
Okay.
But when it comes to what we're kind of looking for is the one-on-one personal aspect for business owners that don't know what they need or don't even know what the regulations are. So we're trying to be that link for them, that middleman for them.
Okay. Give us some examples of the types of conversations you've had recently with a small business owner. Like what's triggering them to get on the phone and call KC Tech?
So the most recent is a chiropractor / physical therapist that his office has grown really rapidly, and he has always been the go-to point person. He set up all the phone system, he set up all the computers for everybody.
Probably like the two of you too.
Yes,
you know?
And now he has 40 employees, and he can't keep up with all of it.
Wow.
So he has kind of fallen behind on what he knows and what he has learned, because it's always been day-to-day fires instead of being able to be preventative and really do maintenance. So he has come to us, and the more we've talked with him, and the more that we found out his needs, we're able to supply a lot more options for him and do a lot more of the physical hands-on stuff for him too. So it's just been
And what's
really
the conversation
easy.
that you have with him? Because I hear that story and I think, geez, this person's wasting their time. Like, they're a business owner with 39 employees. Why are they worrying about setting phones up? They should be delegating that to the professionals in their organization that can do it. So what's the conversation you're having? Because you're not talking tech with them at that point. You're talking about improving their business operations.
Correct. So the big easiest way that we found getting that conversation rolling is just talking about them specifically and what they go through on a daily basis, and then try it more on the consulting side to say, hey, this is something that you could let go very easily at a low cost, and it doesn't compromise your business, compromise anybody that's in your business. We can add to whatever you're doing by freeing up time for you. And that usually, the second you say, I can free up time for you, that is
what, in this
really
example
easy.
with the Cairo, what do you think they should be doing with their time that you're, like, instead of setting up the phones, they're going to have hours of time back? What should they be doing?
So they should be pouring into bringing in more people and training properly.
Okay.
That way they can continue to grow at the rates that they want to grow. They want to be able to expand their business hours. They don't necessarily have the amount of people that they need to make that happen, but they also need to be training them and spending time with them instead of just hiring new hires nonstop and doing nothing with it. So that's kind of where, like, he really specifically needs to be, is more hands-on with his staff instead of
That's a great value equation, because you can, how much time is this guy spending right now setting up phones?
Correct.
Like that's what you should ask them, and then you got to help them make that formula in their mind, saying, with 8 hours a week back, I could be doing 20% more. Stop wasting it setting up a task that it can be easily delegated. So what's the main line of business application that this chiropractor is using to run the business?
We're still working on his software stack, because he honestly is so...
How do they do booking?
I have no idea, honestly.
Okay.
And we're working with him right now because he's got, accounts over here for, his CRM over here. He's got accounts over here for his phones. And so we're trying to get him to be like, we need to consolidate everything into one spot.
Sure.
You need a manager that actually, not just your office manager, because you have 3 offices. You need one person that can manage the software, manage all the endpoints for the entire, all your sites. Not having dedicated, like you said, not having dedicated staff to free up your own time. I mean, you're going to get lost with all your stuff being everywhere else. I know that personally, because we kind of went through that where, we had accounts and applications that were spread out across different softwares, and we're starting to consolidate that as well and bring in software that we need to make our business run more functional.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to bring our own business practices to help out our clients as well. So,
right.
Try to keep people organized, keep us organized.
Okay, so Cairo's a good vertical for you because you got a strong case study there. What other recent clients do you have a good experience where they had a clear pain and you resolved it for them and they love paying you money? This is how we experiment to find a good niche for you, is like, who did you happen to serve, and then learn from that to find repeatable attributes that you can look for in others. So give us another example.
So since we do touch a little bit in the cannabis industry in Missouri, one of our clients used us really sporadically, mainly for security protocol, physical security, door access, that kind of stuff. And the more we got to see a little bit of what they were doing, we saw some processes that they weren't taken care of. They would fluctuate in physical numbers as far as personnel goes, but they would never change any of their licensing. So
was it a problem for them? Did they care?
I mean, ultimately they do care. They may not look at it and may not know that it's a problem until it's too late. So what we went through, and we helped them find all of the accounts that they weren't using, and we're able to kill off accounts, but we also found places where they needed more accounts.
Sure.
Like they were double dipping or doing something that just
This also
wasn't.
sounds like similar to the Cairo, where someone internal was supposed to be managing IT.
Correct.
But they weren't really managing
Correct.
it. It was just in name. So
And it
that's
ends
a
up being
similar
a lot of
attribute.
just putting out fires every day instead of
Because no
really
one's
being
proactively
able-
managing.
Correct.
This is the
Correct.
consequence.
Yep.
Okay, so this is the type of theme that you're looking for is businesses that are outgrowing the business owner
Correct.
DIY experience.
Correct.
So they're going over that like 5, 15, 20 employee hump.
Yes.
Where when they started the business, like the two of you were doing internal tech because you had time. You didn't have enough sales. You had time to do it. Now you don't have time. You should be pursuing more business, or providing more value to existing clientele, and then delegating these tasks
Absolutely.
to someone who's more proficient at it.
Absolutely.
And this is the kind of theme that you're getting at.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. Okay. Who do you look for to support you through this emotional process? You're new in starting a business. Who's your support system?
Well, that's a great question.
You got each other. At
We
least.
do have each other. We do
Yeah.
have each other. Sometimes our wives get a little nervous about that, but we actually lean on Avant. Avant has been a good partner for us, and just because they have so much to offer, and we can use their team to do a lot of the engineering side that we may not have time for.
Sure.
So it's really the same principle that we're using for our clients. We're trying to do that for ourselves too, and not take on every little tiny piece.
Sure.
But yeah, it's been a really inviting and welcoming industry for us too. So everybody that we've talked to has just been really easy and good to work with, and willing to answer questions.
What's your plan for finding more clients right now? Talk us through the next 12 months of how you want to find clients, how you want to deliver them value, how you want to find more.
We're going to lean really heavily on our current work experience with the chiropractor we're working with.
Yes. Okay.
Because we're still building and growing with him, because he's still wanting to do more, and we're getting him all finalized and really dialed in. And he's already got a few referrals for us that we're working for.
Very good. Happy clients turn into more happy clients.
100%.
This is the flywheel. You got to, as point between two business owners, you just got to remind yourselves that it doesn't happen just because you deliver value doesn't mean you get the referral. You got to have a SOP written to say, like, right after this person's super happy, ask them. I know it feels bad to ask, but they're the happiest they'll ever be.
Yep.
Now's the time to ask them. Who else do you know that had the same problem that we can help?
Exactly.
So that's got to be written in your schedule somewhere. That's how you turn one happy person into 10 happy people.
Yeah, we're big on relationships, like 100%
Sure.
relationships.
Sure.
That's what our business runs on, and if our client's not happy with us, they're not going to refer us out. And we consider our clients family. They have our.
What's the
personal cell phone
referral
number.
perk that you're going to offer?
Well, that's a great question.
Because you got to incentivize. If you want to happen, you have to incentivize.
Absolutely. So I think that's a difficult generic one to answer, just because we have relationships with our clients that are a little bit deeper and not very surface level. So it may be one thing for one client and a different thing for another client, just based on our knowledge and of who they are and
well,
what
let's say
they
this
enjoy.
chiropractor that we're talking about now. Let's say they become very happy. They got 3 other friends that are chiropractors that
Sure.
want the same, like, quick start kit, zero stress, take over my IT. What's the referral perk you're giving the chiro?
So he's a big bourbon guy.
Okay.
And he's also a big memorabilia guy. So finding something that he doesn't already have in his collection and adding to the collection, I think would be a good start.
Fantastic
Really good
choice.
start,
Fantastic choice there. And I think the value there is providing something that they actually
Correct.
want.
Yeah.
Correct.
A lot of people in the referral programs, like, you give away merch and swag.
Yeah.
But they don't want that.
No.
That's more marketing for you.
Correct.
Find something that they actually want, as if they were your friend and you're giving them a gift. Great choice.
Yes.
Okay, that's fantastic. And that's pulling in Brian's thing about you're in the relationship
Correct.
business.
Correct.
So you better know things that they like, because that's how you prove that you're in a relationship.
100%.
Fantastic.
If they think we care, they buy a whole lot more.
Oh, sure. I mean, and they just feel more confident
Absolutely.
telling you their problems, because that's the meaning of the relationship, is when they have a problem, they know to call you
Correct.
and you can help and you won't judge them. That's what it means to be in a relationship. And the
100%.
two of you know that because you're in a relationship starting this business. Fantastic.
Exactly.
All right. That's Aaron and Brian from KC Tech Systems, from the capital of barbecue in Kansas City.
100%.
We're here live at the Channel Partners Expo in Las Vegas, Nevada, with the Managed Service Provider Association of America. Thanks for joining this episode of the podcast. Aaron, Brian, thanks for being on.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Right on, guys.
Appreciate it.